Welcome to February's Cookbook Corner, brought to you by the Faulkner County Library. Today we're going to be cooking a recipe from Disney Enchanted Recipes. We're actually going to be doing Kronk's spinach puffs. So if you want to cook along with us, the ingredients that you're going to need are 2 shallots, a clove of garlic, 2 pounds of fresh spinach. Yes, I said 2 pounds of fresh spinach. It's a lot of spinach. Olive oil, 2 eggs, 10.5 ounces of ricotta cheese, 3.5 ounces of goat cheese, 8 sun-dried tomatoes, a pound of puff pastry, and then of course salt and pepper. As for the tools that you're gonna need a spatula, a frying pan with a lid, a knife, 3 little mixing bowls, 2 regular size mixing bowls, a pastry brush, and a baking pan. So we're gonna get started by working on the filling. All right, for the filling, we need to turn your stove top to about medium heat, and we need to drizzle some olive oil in there. We're gonna let that heat up. Once that has gotten to temperature, we're gonna add the shallots, which I have here. And then after that, we're gonna add the garlic. But if you watch olive oil very closely, it will shimmer. I think it's about there, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in the shallots. Now we're supposed to saute these for about 2 minutes. All right, we got a sizzle in. We're starting to see a little bit of color on those, which is good. I think that's what they're wanting. I am gonna let the shallots go just a little longer. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the garlic. It's always nice to have pre-prepped ingredients. Okay, you guys ready to see what 2 pounds of spinach looks like? Remember, this is gonna cook down a lot. With spinach, it's no problem. Do it in batches if you need to. I usually just kind of, fill the pan basically and let it wilt a bit. Once it's time to add the next handful or 2, kind of scooch the wilted spinach off to the side and let the new spinach have the main burner part. Just a little bit more. As you can see, it shrunk down quite a bit. There we go, that's cooked down. Put it all to the side. I'll let the next batch be the star. Stirring it in also helps because the other wilted spinach will help the not wilted spinach wilt. Try saying that 3 times fast. Try to kind of get your spatula under there because wilted spinach likes to hide. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it all in and then put the lid over it because that'll help all this wilt down. You can put it in so that it's overflowing, that's okay. The lid's gonna squish it down a little bit and that's fine. Go ahead and turn down your heat a bit and cover it with the lid. You're gonna wanna be pretty attentive to this, but not quite as attentive as you were because it does need some time to wilt. You're gonna have to give it about 10 minutes. All right, we're gonna do the rest of the filling now. We've got our spinach all reduced down. So we start with 1 egg. I went ahead and beat it off camera. Gonna put that in the mixing bowl. And now we're going to be adding the ricotta and the goat cheese. I do want to point out that the recipe actually has sheep's milk cheese or queso manchego, but goat cheese is a lot easier to find and I think it'll be similar tasting. And I really like goat cheese. Got those in there. Now we gotta mix it. Now we're going to add the sun-dried tomatoes. Now all that spinach is gonna go right in. We'll mix that up. Don't wanna get pretty incorporated because we added so much spinach. All right, the filling is ready. So we have here a pound of puff pastry. Well, technically we have a little bit over a pound, but that's okay. We took it out of the freezer a little bit ago so that it can get a little softer. Obviously, make sure to wash your hands before this step. So, what we're gonna do is technically I should have floured beforehand, but that's okay. We're gonna flour our work surface and roll these out enough so that basically these creases go away. Put a little bit of flour on the work as well. You don't wanna push it out too much though, because then it'll expand too much and it might burst. So the recipe says to cut it into 16 rectangles. It's about right, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always sneak the biggest one for yourself since you're cooking. You can stack them. Just make sure that they're floured enough so they don't stick together too bad. All right, after you've gotten flour well and truly everywhere, you're good to start assembly. So the recipe says to spoon a generous spoonful. I'm going to interpret that as maybe half a tablespoon. We'll see how that goes. If you wanted to make it more like the movie, you could do triangles as well. Because in the movie, they're triangles. Now to close them, what you need to do is dip your fingers in a little bit of water and go all the way around. Like that. If you wanted to, like if you had a fork or something, you could also crimp the edges to make sure that it stays closed. You know, I probably would keep it anyway. That's basically how to do it. You'll want to repeat that with all of your other rectangles. Now that we have got our puffs ready to go, we have to do ours in 2 batches because we just have a limited toaster oven. What we have to do before that is we have to do an egg wash. This is a yolk beat with about a tablespoon of water. You just take a little bit and brush it on. This will make sure that the brown, that the top browns, they're all washed down with egg. So we are going to put them in the oven. They need about 15 minutes in the oven, and we are good. We just gotta wait for those. All right, these smell great. They are ready to come out. I will say that the filling makes more than enough for multiple batches. So honestly, you could probably even half the recipe and still have enough for 2 batches. But look how lovely they look. I think Kronk would be proud. What do you think? Thanks for joining us for February's Cookbook Corner, where we made Kronk spinach puffs that you find in this recipe book. It's called Disney Enchanted Recipes, and it is done by Villanova. Be sure to check it out and join us next time for our Cookbook Corner.